What up, folks? RGT85 here, and I haven't abandoned this channel. Stop saying that. Stop unsubscribing. Obviously, with the move, it's not very easy for me to go live at the drop of a hat during that time frame. Now that I'm settled in, I can go live. It's definitely going to be a focus of 2022, so don't abandon this channel. But I thought, let's call it RGT Extras, because I want to do some stuff on here once in a while. Not like Spawnwave, where he does just like random videos on there, but just have an extra place where I could do stuff that's maybe not pertinent to video games and stuff on this channel. So someone actually recorded my Geoff Keighley talk for about the Game Awards from the other day that I was talking about on my latest video, where Geoff held a Twitter Spaces event and I got in it and he called upon me to speak and we had a good little chat. So I'm uploading that on this channel because I mean, it's just a chat, it's just audio, but you guys can listen to it. Let me know how I did. Did I address your concerns in the comment section down below? But enjoy this video, and no, I haven't abandoned you guys. I still will be making videos on this channel, but enjoy.
I love Joseph. All right, thanks, man. Great to chat.
Yes,
Let's see. Let's bring up RGT 85. How you doing? RGT, I think he did a video or a YouTube video reviewing the show. I haven't watched yet, but I think I saw it in my feed, so I'm gonna have to go watch that. I want to watch it. I want the real feedback.
I mean,
so give it to me straight. What do I need to fix?
Now, first off, I will say I didn't like what you were talking about with the previous guy and like the tabloid article. I didn't like how they ran with that and tried to smear you over that. I thought that was ridiculous because of the fact that that website, which we won't name names, but when an Activision game or a Blizzard game or a game within that ecosystem drops, they're going to review it. And they might give it a bad score, but they're still going to work with them. So I hated that. Now, as far as the Game Awards goes, I liked some of the things. The Hellblade 2 thing, that was good. I like that. I definitely thought Hellblade 2 was going to be there. I liked the Sonic stuff. I liked the movie trailer. And usually not a huge fan of movie trailers, but I don't know. I guess like the main thing is like, it's a very long show. And I get it. It's a show. You got to do the advertisements and stuff like that. But it just, I don't know. And obviously Sting, I'm not the biggest Sting fan in the world, but I get it. Okay. I get it. I get why he was there. And at least it was at the front, it was nice and front loaded, but I don't know.
Everything it was a pretty beautiful song, I thought, right?
Yes. I mean, it wasn't no Walking on the Moon or messing.
Have you watched Arcane?
No, I don't really watch like network TV stuff.
Well, yeah, if you watch Arcane, it's a pretty anyways, watch Arcane. It's a pretty pivotal kind of finale song, but totally get you. I mean, look, that's the thing is some people will like Imagine Dragons, some people won't. I mean, what we find is that music stuff is very polarizing, and the orchestra is what people tend to really love and universally sort of like think is good. So yeah, I mean, like in a show, as you said, of that length, there are always going to be things that appeal to you and don't appeal to others, and it's it's a balance for me as a producer of how do you create something that hopefully appeases everyone but doesn't alienate anyone. And I agree the show is long. It's like I wish it was a little bit shorter. It's the thing that I think struggle with a little bit is like so many game companies have stuff that want to be part of the show. And we hate saying no to people, even though we do have to say no to lots of people. So we just try and sort of balance it out and come up with something that works for everyone. But I agree with you. It's there was a lot to the show this year.
And I think one of the things that kind of bothers me, and I think it bothers a lot of people, is like, there was a segment of the show where it was like, it was almost back to back, or at least within like a half hour of each other, where it was like, 4 or 5 awards just get dropped back to back to back. And then it's like, here's something else. It's kind of like, well, I don't know. I think people would like to hear more from and I understand, obviously, a lot of people, when they get up on stage, these people are working behind the scenes. They're not used to the bright lights. So they might, it's not like the Oscars or something where those people are, in front of the camera all the time. So maybe they don't have something to say, but I definitely think a lot of people would like to hear more from the award winners, more so than some of the other stuff that's thrown in there.
Yeah, look, that's a constant criticism and a constant battle we face. When I remember a couple years ago on Twitter, I did a poll where I said, like, what do you want to see more? It's like awards or world premieres. And I think it was like 80-something% of the audience said it's all about the world premieres, and that's why they tune in. So the awards are a key piece of the show. It's obviously the brand of the show, and we spend, probably half the show going through awards, but we have 30 categories and we just can't. I mean, we could, but it's just I don't think that we can really do back-to-back awards, presenting to all those developers. There's also the issue, I think, this year especially of, how many people can attend and be a part of it. I was really actually happy with how many people were able to be there in person, and having people fly in from Europe and Sweden and France and places like that to be a part of the show. And I agree that me listing off some categories and announcing the winner, we've always figured out, like, what's the best way to do that. I mean, other award shows, like, the Grammys or something like that, they don't even mention some of the categories in the show and say, hey, go to the website and see the others. So it's like we try and figure out a way to mention it. I wish we could do more awards, but it comes at the expense of, premieres and other things. And you're right that, what's the right balance? Should we had 2 more awards and 3 less world premieres? Maybe. It's just, there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. But I think it's fair criticism. It's always going to be this tension that exists with this show, of how do we sort of balance that out. So yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you. So what would you do? Like, if you were the producer, what would you change? You have more awards and less premieres?
That's tough, because obviously that's a large undertaking. But
you're in charge. What are you going to do?
I would try to balance it. Maybe just a suggestion, move some of the Hollywood stuff to the side and give the developers and the producers and the people behind the scenes of the actual games more so than, like, the actors presenting stuff or talking about stuff to the side. Once again, I understand the business aspect of it, but still, make it a little more, because really my whole philosophy is, the music industry, Hollywood, they're not as big as the video game industry when it comes to revenue in any way, shape, or form. They need us more than we need them. So yeah. I would like to see a little more focus on the actual gaming side of things, more so than the Hollywood stuff. Like I said, I understand the money involved.
But the thing is, people are like, oh, why did you pay these people to show up? And it's like, we don't pay anyone. They come because they actually want to be a part of the show, because they're actually, interested in games and curious about it, want to be part of the industry. And what I always look at it as, we're not giving awards to Hollywood people. What we're doing is having these Hollywood people come in to present awards to game developers, to honor them. And, a lot of people, like, last year when Christopher Nolan presented Game of the Year, like, that was pretty cool for people at Naughty Dog that he presented the award to them, right? And it could have been Todd Howard, it could have been Reggie, and we always, we balance that. I mean, this year Neil Druckmann presented Game of the Year, right? And we had John Mustard present Game Direction and Reggie, and like we try and balance it so it's not like all Hollywood names, but Simu Liu is like a big gamer and he was super excited to do the show, and we're like, awesome, let's bring him in and have him be a part of it. So it's always a debate about how to involve those guys in it. I just always make the distinction that we're not giving a inspiration award to Keanu Reeves or something, right? I mean, they're there, but like Keanu was there because he's starring in The Matrix Awakens.
Well, Keanu's a real one. He gets a pass.
Okay. That's what I said. It's like it's a balance for us on how to make it all work, and I think we try and always have people that are related to games. And I can't tell you how many celebrities we get pitched, big names that just don't have a relevant gaming link. Same thing on the music side, honestly, right? I mean, there are lots of bands that get pitched and we're like, well, because you're on the FIFA soundtrack is not enough to sort of be performing on the show. And that's why, like, the Imagine Dragons thing, we were really happy that came together with the Supergiant guys and kind of a cool collaboration. So yeah, it's, again, something we think about often. Some of the talent, it's not needed for the show, but I think it adds kind of a fun element to the show, and I don't think it distracts. If your point is that we should have more game developers presenting awards to game developers, my answer to that is, like, yes, we do have, we do that a fair amount. Like I said, with Neil presenting Game of the Year and things like that. And it's sort of, it just depends on the year. And honestly, I will tell you, it's kind of hard sometimes to book game developers to do that stuff, because they're also, especially this year, they have to travel in, and sometimes in Hollywood, LA, there are lots of people available that are easier to get them sometimes, and getting someone to fly in from around the world to present. So, like, would I have loved to have Kojima present, an award? It's like, yeah, but he's in Japan and it's hard to do. So, yeah, I think that's like a fair comment, and is always going to be sort of part of, this show. And I think there are other people that come down the other side of, like you said, like, oh, Keanu was super cool to have there. So I don't think we need a ton of celebrity in the show. doesn't really drive ratings for us at all. But it's nice to sort of sprinkle in. But I think it's a fair point to say focus on the games and the developers. And I would say across the show, we had lots of developers on stage accepting awards and presenting their games and premiering them and stuff like that. So there's an element there that I think we need to always think about, but it is like top of mind. And we try and strike the right balance. Who did you think was the most odd, like the Hollywood stuff? What did you think was the most odd thing that like didn't work for you?
I don't know a lot of Hollywood names, but the gentleman with the Halo phone gag, it was like, okay, please stop.
Oh yeah, Simu Liu. That's the Shang-Chi guy. Yep.
Yeah, like he seems like a cool dude, but it's like, all right. Tell me about the award. I get it. Halo's hot. You're watching it on Twitch, but you're not really.
No, I agree.
Little things like that.
That was his idea. Like he's actually a legit Halo fan and that was his concept. He wanted to talk about Twitch and all that. So we're like, cool, if this is what you want to do. But yeah, Simu's like he's a cool guy, but I totally get what you're saying. And that's the thing with, music and talent. It's everyone will have sort of a different opinion of sort of what's relevant and what's not.
Yeah, it's subjective.
Exactly. But Keanu was good for you. Keanu's universally accepted, right?
But yeah, man, Keanu's an OG. I mean, come on. Bill and Ted.
My Canadian brother. All right. Well, thanks for chatting, man. I'm going to watch your video soon.
All right, brother.
All right. RGT 85.